Okay, so here's a short overview of PLine or PolyLine. To make a PLine happen, you can type in PL or type in the full word PLine. And for the vast majority of the geometry you'll be drawing, I would suggest using PLine over just regular line, simply because a PLine has more options to it, right? You can do more with a P-line afterwards. You can always turn a line into a P-line after the fact, but you might as well just make everything a P-line to begin with. So I just drew a random shape, right? Clicking in random spots. And if I wanted to close my P-line and go right back to the point where I started, I could type, you can read the little menu down here and you have several options. I can just type in C spacebar to close it. And now I have a fully closed P-line. I can look at my quick properties, and yes, I see that it is closed down here. And your quick properties, by the way, you can bring up by pressing Control-1. I think you can also type in quick properties. Yeah, but there's several ways to do everything in AutoCAD. Oh, just kidding. Quick properties brings up an individual object's properties. But quick properties is something that you should probably always have open or at least hidden. If you click this little button right here, auto hide. Now, whenever I move my mouse off of it, it's going to hide itself. And if I want to see it again, I just put my mouse over it. Okay. So as we're looking at our P-line here, we see that we have several different pick boxes. And if you put your mouse over one of these pick boxes, you get several options. So I can remove this vertex here and create a straight line where there were two. I can put my mouse over one of these center lines and I can convert it to an arc, right? And just a quick little tip to make your drafting faster. If you put your mouse over and then you type the first letter of the option that you want, it will activate it. So say I want to add a vertex, I'll just hit the letter A on my keyboard and I'm adding a vertex, right? Okay, there's a couple other ways to use a P-line, and this is the main way we would be drawing contour lines, for example. So you can start your P-line and then you can type in A for arc, or if you wanted to begin with an arc, start P-line, and I'm just hitting spacebar again to repeat the last command that I entered. I don't need to type in P-line every single time. And also if I type spacebar again, it'll start that P-line at the end of the last P-line that I drew. Okay, but I'm going to start a new one. Okay, and then I'm going to type in A for arc, spacebar, and now I'm drawing an arc. But say it's not going in the direction that I want it to go. I can look down here at my options and I can either click or type in D for direction, and I can choose the direction I want that arc to go. Or if I know exactly where I want a point on that arc to be, I can type in S for second point, and I can, oh, I have to start a new arc, sorry. Start a new arc, second point, and now I can choose a point along that arc so that wherever I put the end of this arc, that one point that I chose will always be on that arc. And using these tools and just learning over time how the arcs naturally connect to one another and flow into one another, you can learn how to draw smooth shapes with P-line. It takes a bit of practice, and it is a little bit difficult to get nice, smooth, organic shapes, but just keep trying and you'll eventually figure it out. One thing I want to add when you're drawing polylines or with anything, one very important tool to get perpendicular lines or lines at a right angle is the use of the ortho tool. And there are two ways you can do this. If the ortho tool is off, you can hold down the shift key and that will lock your line into the 4 directions, where you can type F8 and then that will permanently turn ortho on so that any line you draw will be 90 degrees to one another unless you snap to another object, right? Okay, F8 to turn that off, and now I can go wherever I want.